Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us at this special GNF Forum. My name is Wu Lei. I'm from China Global Television Network, or CGTN. And we know that 2 days ago, that is China's Mid-Autumn Festival. And one of the most important festivals in China for family reunions. And today, our topic is International Lunar Research Station and also an international science project. Because we know we have worshipped the moon for thousands of years, and today that's one of our topics. And over the past decades, and many countries and regions have launched numerous satellites and made manned spacecraft to study the moon, and also brought lunar samples and also a large amount of scientific data. But how shall scientists study the moon better? And why not work together to jointly develop our lunar surface? So today we will have this special forum on the International Lunar Research Station, the International Science Project. And this is a scalable and maintainable comprehensive scientific experiment facility proposed by China and jointly built by many global partners. So today is our great honor to have several distinguished guests. I want to introduce them one by one. Professor Wang Qiong from the Lunar Exploration and Space Engineering Center of the China National Space Administration. And also Dr. Yu Dengyun from the China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation. He's a Deputy Director of the Science and Technology Committee. And it's our great pity that Mr. Serdar İdilya, Chairman and of the Board and the President of Turkish Space Agency, couldn't join us this afternoon. And also we'll have Thomas Zubichin. He's an Associate Administrator of the Science Mission Directorate at the American Space Agency, NASA. And also Dr. Xi Xiangyu, Deep Space Exploration Laboratory Engineer of System Research Institute. And these distinguished guests will provide us with details of the International Lunar Research Station later. And today's forum is mainly organized by China National Space Administration. And thank you very much. And we are very pleased to welcome Mr. Li Guoping, the Chief Engineer of China National Space Administration, to give us a welcoming speech. Welcome.
尊敬的各位来宾、女士们、先生们、朋友们，大家下午好。
Dear distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and my space fellows, good afternoon.
我谨代表中国国家航天局对各位到来表示热烈的欢迎。
On behalf of China National Space Administration, I would like to extend a warm welcome and sincere gratitude for your presence.
一年一度的国际宇航大会，让我们相聚在里海的明珠、古老美丽的巴库。千年来，巴库作为丝绸之路的枢纽，见证了中华文明与世界的交融和发展。
The annual International Astronautical Congress brings us together in the Pearl of Caspian Sea, the ancient and beautiful Baku. For thousands of years, Baku, as an interchange of Silk Road, has witnessed the integration and development of Chinese civilization and the rest of the world.
这里有太空探索梦想的起航。50年前，第24届国际宇航大会曾在这里举行。半个世纪以来，我们为全人类在探索外空中取得的伟大成就而深受鼓舞。
This is the beginning of space exploration. The 2014 IEC was held here 50 years ago. Over the past half century, we are inspired by the great achievements made by human space exploration.
我们欣喜地看到人类空间探测空前活跃，越来越多的国家制定了宏伟的规划，探索宇宙未知的奥秘。
We are pleased to see space exploration has become more active than ever before, and more countries has formulated their ambitious plans to explore the unknown and mysteries of the vast universe.
国际月球科研站就是其中一项庞大的探测计划，我们真诚地欢迎国际社会共同参与这个。
The International Lunar Research Station is also one of the above exploration programs. On behalf of CNSA, we sincerely welcome the joint participation from the International Space Fellows.
我们提出了和平开发利用、共商共建共享、合作形式多样、共享科学成果、保护月球资源、成立合作组织的合作倡议，愿与国际伙伴一起在外空条约等国际空间法则的指导下开展合作。
We have released the cooperative initiatives of peaceful exploration, shared consultation of collaboration, diversified cooperation, scientific result sharing, lunar resource protection, and cooperative organization establishment. We are willing to cooperate with international partners under the guidance of Outer Space Treaty and other principles of international space laws.
目前，我们已经完成了月球探测的绕、落、回三步走的战略。
Now China has successfully implemented the orbiting, landing, and returning for lunar exploration.
刚才在航天局长论坛上，我也介绍了这个后续的嫦娥6、7、8三个工程的情况。
And on the Space Leaders 101 Forum, I have mentioned about China's further lunar exploration missions.
在今天论坛上，国家航天局将发布嫦娥8号任务国际合作的机遇公告，也欢迎国际伙伴在更高层次上加入我们的任务。
Today, CNSA will officially announce the international cooperation opportunities for the Chang'e 8 mission. The international partners are highly welcome to join this mission at a higher level.
让我们携手同行，凝聚共识，为和平利用外空、构建人类命运共同体做出更大的贡献。
Let's join our hands, gather consensus, and make greater contributions to the peaceful use of outer space, and together build a community of a shared future for all mankind.
谢谢大家。
Thank you all.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Li Guoping, the Chief Engineer of China National Space Administration. As Mr. Li just mentioned, that later China will announce the opportunities for the Chang'e 8 mission. Now let's welcome Mr. Wang Qiong, Deputy Chief Designer of the Chang'e 8 mission. He will show us the opportunities of the Chang'e 8 mission. Welcome.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Wang Qiong from LESEC CNSA. Here, I'd like to introduce the international cooperation opportunities of the Chang'e 8 mission. Chang'e 8 mission is the last mission of the fourth phase of China's lunar exploration program. Its main goal is to build a basic model of lunar research station together with the Chang'e 7 mission. The spacecraft consists of a lander, a rover, and an operation robot. It is planned to be launched around 2028 by a Long March 5 rocket in the Wenchang spacecraft launch site. Now it is in the concept design stage. After joint studies by scientists and engineers, both domestically and internationally, 4 candidate landing regions have been preliminarily selected. They are Leibniz Beta Plateau region, the Amundsen crater region, the Cabios crater region, and the Chagrin de Jelash connecting ridge region. These regions are all above 80 south degrees near the lunar south pole. Detailed landing site will be studied further. After landing in the pre-selected landing area, the lander will deploy a multi-purpose transfer mechanism integrating communication antennas and cameras. Then the mechanism will transfer the rover and the operation robot onto the lunar surface. If needed, it can also transfer payloads as long as the lifting adapter is mounted. The lander serves as the communication command and control center of Lunar Research Station and carries out scientific exploration, scientific experiments, and technical tests with the assistance of the operation robot. The rover conducts roving exploration, and the operation robot serves as an orderly of the lander, such as deploying detectors of payloads, adding lunar soils of payloads. Chang'e 8 mission has 5 scientific objectives, corresponding to 14 Chinese payloads, in which 10 payloads are on the lander and other 4 on the rover. The first objective is investigating lunar multiphysics fields, involving 3 payloads on the lander, the lunar seismometer, regardless heat flow meter, and the low-frequency electromagnetic field detector. The second objective is investigating lunar local geological profiles, involving 4 kinds of cameras, an infrared spectrometer, and an in situ lunar sample analysis and storage device. Most of them are on the rover. The third is investigating Earth's magnetosphere and energy balance with moon-based Earth observation, involving an Earth radiometer, an Earth multispectral imager, and a soft X-ray telescope. They are all on the lander and point at the Earth. The fourth is analyzing in situ lunar sample and experimenting on resource utilization. It relates to two payloads, an in situ lunar sample analysis and storage device and an ISRU device, testing device. The last objective is experimenting on many enclosed terrestrial ecosystems in lunar environment. We have a mini ecological experimental device on the lander. The cooperation opportunity is open to the international community, and the international partners are welcome to carry out mission level, system level, and payload level cooperation project. Mission level project means that China and international partners respectively launch and operate their spacecraft and conduct spacecraft-to-spacecraft interactions and joint explorations on the lunar surface. System level and payload level projects are piggyback projects. The piggyback modules may separate from the lander and work independently after landing, such as lunar surface robot, rover, flight vehicle, etc., called the system level project. The piggyback modules may also work on board the lander, called the payload level project. This slide shows the preliminary design constraints from the lander. The total piggybacking weight is no more than 200 kilograms, shared by all piggyback projects. The weight of single independent module should not exceed 100 kilograms. The total power is 200 watts, and the single project power should not exceed 50 watts. All payloads are installed on the outside of the land side panel. The available installment space is the green part in the diagram in the lower right corner, with a length of 2.5 meters and a height of 1.3 meters. The lunar night survival issue should be solved by the piggyback project itself. There's no power or heat supply from the lander in the night in principle. The detailed supporting conditions for piggyback project will be clarified in the follow-up technical coordination process. The following projects will be given priority consideration. Missions capable of carrying out space-to-spacecraft interactions and joint exploration with the Chang'e 8 mission on the lunar surface or in lunar orbits. For example, two spacecraft from both sides communicate with each other, or two rovers explore the same area together. Lunar robots with the capability to capture, carry, and place items, shovel, transfer lunar soils. Scientific payloads that meet the scientific objectives of the Chang'e 8 mission and are complementary to the Chinese payloads. And other projects with strong scientific innovation are also welcomed. This slide shows the timeline of the following procedures for piggyback projects. The deadline of letter of intent submission is December 31st, 2023. Then preliminary selection will be carried out. From February to April 2024, we will give feedback on preliminary selection results and conduct further technical coordination and confirmation of cooperation intents with the project teams. Before June 30, 2024, the proposals of preliminary selected project shall be submitted, and in September 2024, the final confirmation will be completed, and the flight model shall be delivered no later than August 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely welcome from international community to join the Chang'e 8 mission of CNSA. We would like to work with international partners to the principle of extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits, continuously expanding the boundaries of human knowledge and promoting a community with a shared future for mankind. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wang Qiong. And he shows us very detailed information about the Chang'e 8 mission. And it's quite exciting because we have seen the lander, a rover, and also an operation robot. That's quite interesting. And I think many countries might be interested, and we'll contact Mr. Wang Qiong later. And now let's welcome Dr. Yu Dengyun from China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation. He's the Deputy Director of the Science and Technology Committee. Dr. Yu will give us a broader picture of this International Lunar Research Station. Let's welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yu Dengyun. On behalf of Professor Wu Weizhen, the Chief Designer of China Chang'e Program, I'm honored to here today to present the report International Lunar Research Station International Science Project. My report includes 4 parts. One is project background. As you know, Moon is the transit station toward further deep space. Is an important way to start the 3 origins of life, solar system, and universe. The development and utilization of lunar resources is of great significance to the sustainable development of mankind. Moon is the closest celestial object to the Earth. Mankind has explored more than 130 times. From 2004, China has finished 3 steps of lunar exploration: Chang'e 1, Chang'e 2, Chang'e 3, Chang'e 4, and Chang'e 5. Named orbiting, landing, and sample return. In the future, we will propose the International Lunar Research Station. This will be for human civilization. The second part, the construction proposal. The International Lunar Research Station concept, initiator and participants, scalable and maintainable and comprehensive long-term automation, short-term manned participation. His functions: energy supply, central control, communication and navigation, space Earth round trip, lunar scientific research, and ground support. Activities: science exploration and research, resource development and utilization, cutting-edge technology verification. Our approach is for peaceful use, equality, and mutual benefit, inclusive development. Our overall goals are making contribution to the peaceful use of space and construction of community with a shared future for the mankind. The International Lunar Research Station includes 5 scientific goals like this: lunar geology, universe survey, Sun-Earth relation, and scientific experiment and resource utilization. They have 3 engineering goals: that's platform for scientific experiments, driver technology lives across generations, and build an engineering facility system. The International Lunar Space Station, Research Station, we have 5 facilities. One is Lunar Earth Transportation Facility, long-term support facility on lunar surface. The third is Transportation and Operation Facility, and the Lunar Scientific Facility, and ground support and application facilities. We want to implement this program about in 3 phases. Phase 1 is the basic model, and phase 2 is improved model, and the third phase means utilization model. The phase 1 includes Chang'e 6, 7, 8, and other missions. Phase 2, then improve the model, is composed of ILIs 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. In order to support the phase 2, we must establish the Churchill constellation. The phase 3, named the user utilization model. That means up to 2040 years from Moon to Mars to establish the communication, navigation, and resource system. The part 3, existing foundation. From 2004 years, China has finished 5 missions, have a major leap in space technology capability, like this. We have obtained main first in space science exploration, include the 7-meter resolution imaging of moon, and some Earth-Moon environment, and so on. We have established a global deep space network, and we have construction of Wenchang Space Launch Site. And we have openness and cooperation with all over the world. The part 4, the cooperation initiative. First, we welcome all countries to participate in this program because China space program from 2021 perspective, international partners are welcome to participate in the demonstration and construction of the International Lunar Research Station at all stages of the project and all levels of the mission. The LLI's cooperation initiatives includes peaceful exploitation, joint discussion, building, sharing, various cooperation forms, sharing scientific outcomes, and preserving lunar resources, and so on. This aspects of cooperation include 7 aspects about joint proposal, strategy definition, data sharing, joint operation, technology cooperation, and collaborative design. The cooperation opportunities, Chang'e 8 and ILIs from 1 to 5 missions. We have 1A, B, C, D, E, F, 6 level. We will establish the organization named International Lunar Research Station Cooperation Organizations to jointly develop ILI's projects, jointly manage facility, and share scientific research results. About funders, the first the naturalists will enjoy more favorable terms, more rights, and more results as founding members. About the organization structure, we will establish the mechanism of council governance. Founding members and statutory members jointly participate. Non-governmental entities and individuals are welcome. And finally, we welcome all countries with joint hands in the International Lunar Research Station. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Yu Dengyun, for your brief introduction. And we know that the moon remains a familiar but mysterious celestial body. This International Lunar Research Station will help us better understand our moon. And now let's welcome Mr. Thomas Zuberchin, also known as Dr. Z. And he will share with us the theme of lunar science and exploration through international and commercial partnerships. Welcome.
Well, I don't know about you, but I see these plans and I'm really excited. I'm especially excited if I consider what just happened in the last month here. This morning, Japan announced that their SLIM lander is going from Earth orbit to lunar injection orbit. Just last weekend, the OSIRIS-REx mission came back with samples from asteroid Bennu and landed in Utah. Samples that will be shared with the international community. And over a month ago, India landed on the moon and did amazing work that astonished all of us with science within a short time, really complementing the good work that has happened elsewhere. What I'm going to talk to you about is very much a complementary part to what our colleagues from China already talked about. Namely, how to explore that neighbor of ours, the moon. Exploring the moon is really, really difficult. You can learn that from the statistics of successful landings on the moon. You can learn that roughly 50% of those were not successful over time. Of course, this picture taken by astronauts kind of coming back from an orbit around the moon, looking at Earth, reminds us that exploring the moon, of course, just like our colleagues from China told us, not only changes our understanding of the moon, but also the relationship of the moon and the Earth, and hence the history of the Earth. Many questions about the moon or about Earth cannot be explored on Earth alone. Frankly, the absolute age of cratering and so forth needs to come from the moon, because the Earth has a surface that's very much too young as it goes through erosion, geologic changes, and so forth. I want to tell you personally, I'm a second-generation person related to lunar research. That experiment standing next to Neil Armstrong on the surface of the moon is an experiment that was built in Switzerland, where I grew up. And I did my PhD in a room where the lab was situated that analyzed the solar wind that was collected there. Again, another objective that was just mentioned. The moon, of course, is bathed in plasma that comes from the sun and from the Earth's magnetosphere, and so are the particles there. I want to tell you, it took until a little bit after my PhD thesis in the year 2000 or so, where the isotopic composition of the solar wind was measured more accurately than from this very simple experiment from the moon. A little chocolate foil, as we always called it, Professor Geis imagined and brought back to Earth together with Apollo. So for me, what this picture means to me is really that ideas of the type that are being talked about as piggyback here and elsewhere should really be broad and should be imaginative. And sometimes the simplest experiments have the longest longevity in terms of the scientific value, such as this one. So the picture, of course, we have is a lunar exploration program that we've all learned in the history books. I was not there, but a program that looked like this to a program that's this, which has many different countries, commercial entities, national entities, European, Chinese, Indian, Japanese, Russian, and so forth, entities that work together to explore the moon. And of course, a moon that is very much different than the moon that we left after Apollo. The moon that we left after Apollo, we thought to be entirely dry. And one of the reasons that the landings that were outlined here, of course, are planned to go to the southern pole is because of the fact that it has been shown through remote observations that, in fact, water or volatile components should be in the surface of the moon, as indicated here from a result from a remote sensing mission. By the way, we have no idea as of yet how to translate what is remotely observed volatiles into actual in situ measurements, and that's why rovers of the type that were indicated are so important. Rovers that actually take samples and do ground-penetrating radar and other X-ray measurements of the type that one of the 14 experiments that you just saw discussed are really critical for making that translation from remote sensing to in situ observations to really tie together and answer the question, how volatile rich is the moon? Could we use it, for example, as a base for exploration to Mars right there, because we can actually make the fuel on the surface of the moon? Those are questions that are related. It's really important to recognize that there's multiple strategies that are at play. You heard the Chinese strategy right now, which is one that's very much driven, systematic, and very much logical in its approach, kind of from step to step. A strategy that's being pursued in the United States and with other international partners is one that really takes commercial actors and actually makes them, gives them the ability to prove that, in fact, they can land on the surface of the moon and deliver cargo, deliver experiments that could be going there. Now, I just want to tell you, you should not be surprised after looking at the statistics of lunar exploration in the past that it is hard to be a commercial partner and do this. And frankly, as before the end of the year, my full expectation is that 2 of those landers will take off from Earth and will actually seek to land at the surface of the moon. When I was at NASA, Congress always asked me, what's the likelihood of that? And I said 50%. And they asked and asked again, and I said 50%, because frankly, that's roughly, as I said, what the long-term average is of humanity against the moon. It's like an average soccer team that is winning about 50%. Of course, my hope is they will be more successful, but you see, by doing that, we create economic engine and kind of a series of players that can support many activities that are going to the surface of the moon, such as human activities at the surface in conjunction with, of course, flying activities around it, such as a small gateway, a research station that is up there that is inhabited at times by international astronauts and can be used to really learn and get a better feeling for long-term living in space, doing work, also biological experiments, in the relevant environment that is the environment away from the Earth magnetosphere, which is where the space station is now. There's many things we can do there. There's many things we cannot do in low Earth orbit, and that's why it's important to go elsewhere and get that practice as we go forward. See landers, commercial landers, but then also rovers, both pressurized and non-pressurized, are in the future of that as we move towards surface habitats and building up staging capabilities and surface exploration, very much aligned with the kind of work that you just saw. Work that is motivated by the same kind of values, by the same science, and the desire to do so internationally. And also, as you just heard in the previous talk right ahead of me, work that is not only looking at the moon, but with one eye is looking at Mars already, because many of these activities, whether it's being in orbit and transfer through the Gateway and then a Mars program, all the way through mobile expedition, duration, and autonomous robotic systems. All of these have analogs on the Moon and on Mars with different environments, different kind of lighting, energy, and other environments. And that's why kind of working on the Moon extensively will be critical before we go, in fact, to Mars. The previous speaker talked a lot about values, and I want to do so too. As many players go to the Moon and work with peaceful purposes on the Moon, just like good neighborhoods here on Earth, the rules need to be clear. And what's absolutely critical is what you just saw demonstrated here, is an openness to actually tell each other what we're going to do and why. It's also clarity and transparency of not only as we're going, but also after the fact, kind of telling each other what we found. Together, we're one community, one science community, one that works together. And for me to actually prove that certain science results are really reproducible, are accessible by others, and frankly, good ideas that somebody may have somewhere else, like in Switzerland, could be utilized, it's absolutely critical that the science is open. And so for me, that collaborative culture is absolutely critical. And as we go to the Moon, we have a chance to really get that right. I want to tell you, in my work at NASA, I spent quite some time here and there talking to various international partners, including China, about a variety of issues. And for me, I just really believe we have a good start in what we have heard here, what has happened. For example, the Chang'e data are public, and many people are publishing with it. And I think that that's a wonderful thing. The same is true with LRO, other lunar data. There's still ways to go, I believe, that we can all do and really bring together and create an international discussion of exploration for this amazing celestial neighbor we have. For example, as we have samples here on Earth, which is what's going to be demonstrated with the OSIRIS-REx mission, my full expectation is that samples are exchanged. Frankly, that is what we should be doing. That's what we have done in the past. And my full belief is that that is what will also give us the support in all of our countries to go forward and continue to work. So as I get off the stage, I just want to show you a picture that was taken during the Artemis 1 mission as the spacecraft, the Orion spacecraft built by the European Space Agency and the United States was leaving Earth and kind of went towards the Moon. You see the Earth there, kind of very insignificant planet kind of in front of a very dark background. And what reminds us, this picture reminds us that we're here together on one planet. And I want to just tell you how excited I am to work in a space community where we can transcend some of the boundaries and borders that separate us here on Earth and work together as an international community and aspire together to make sure that our society has the ability of not only changing where it lives away from Earth, but also changing its various spheres, the spheres of knowledge, the economic spheres, and others. So thank you for including me in this session, and I wish everybody the best of luck as we go together and explore the Moon. Thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Z, for your highlights of the international collaboration, especially we know that the International Lunar Projects are huge projects which has different systems, including rockets, satellites, manned space flight, and also not to mention about these interesting experiments on the lunar surface. And also communication plays a very key role in these projects. Now let's welcome Dr. Xixiang Yu, Deep Space Exploration Laboratory. He's an engineer of Space Research Institute. He will tell us more about the Queqiao satellite constellation. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Xi Xiangyu from the Deep Space Exploration Laboratory. Today, the title of my presentation is Qiuqiao System for Communication, Navigation, and Remote Sensing. Earth is the cradle of humanity, but is Earth the only home for humankind, and do we exist alone in the universe, and what are we headed in the future? Humanity cannot live on Earth forever. The exploration and discovery of unknown in the universe is the internal motivation of humanity development. Stepping out of the Earth's cradle has been an internal aspiration of humankind. There are many myths and legends in China that reflect ancient Chinese people's fantasies about the universe. For example, like the Chang'e flies to the moon or the Tianwen explores the universe. There are three major directions for deep space exploration: lunar exploration, planetary exploration, and solar system exploration. This exploration will help us to explore the unknown in the universe, expand the boundary of human activities and knowledge, and search for the extraterrestrial life to prove that we are not alone in the universe. In the meantime, it could help us to protect our Earth's cradle from asteroid impact and solar eruption. For example, the solar flares and sunspots. So improve the ability to enter, understand, and utilize the space is very important. This is the developmental version of China's deep space exploration in recent decades. For lunar exploration, China will implement Chang'e 6, 7, and 8 missions before 2030, and then establish lunar research stations before 2050. And for planetary exploration, China will implement Tianwen 2, 3, and 4 missions and Tianwen series missions step by step, and then establish Mars research station. The near-Earth asteroid defense will be carried out simultaneously and to achieve the impact, push-off, control of the asteroid. The solar system observation, heliosphere observation, and exoplanet observation are the primary tasks of the solar system exploration. So to achieve the above vision, we need for the development of deep space exploration. In the deep space exploration missions, the ground needs to obtain the accurate position of the probe, monitor its status, and realize the transmission of massive data. For the probe, it will also acquire an amount of detection data and process on-orbit payload information. So all these requirements put high demands on communication, navigation, and remote sensing. And the development of the new technologies will support the more complex deep space exploration in the future. So here we propose the Qiuqiao system for communication, navigation, and remote sensing to fulfill all the requirements. The orientation of the Qiuqiao system is about the international space infrastructure and public service platform. And the basic compositions are circumlunar and Earth-Moon Liberation Point spacecraft, interplanetary staging stations, and planetary orbiting spacecraft. Its design principles are functional modularity, interface standardization, and design digitalization. And the service scope will cover Earth-Moon space, interplanetary space, and heliosphere. This is the general plan of Qiuqiao system. the basic completion of the Earth-Moon space communication capability is to serve the lunar exploration phase 4 and the International Lunar Research Station. And for the Queqiao version 2, the full completion of the Earth-Moon space communication, navigation, and remote sensing capability will be done to serve for the manned lunar exploration and the international lunar exploration. And we plan to establish the construction of the preliminary deep space system for communication, navigation, and remote sensing capability to cover the interplanetary space and serve for the exploration of Mars, Venus, and Hemisphere. For Queqiao version 1, the general objectives are to establish the basic completion of the Earth-Moon space communication capability, including the validation of key technologies such as network, navigation, and remote sensing. For Queqiao 2 relay satellite, it will provide the communication service for the lunar exploration phase 4. And for Tiandu 1 and Tiandu 2 satellite, it will verify the precise orbit measuring technology and for the communication technology. And for the Queqiao 3 series, it will contain the communication, navigation, and remote sensing satellites to support the lunar exploration. And the overall objective for Queqiao version 2 is to establish an Earth-Moon main link and realize the whole Moon communication and remote sensing, as well as regional navigations. In one of the design, the system will contain a totally 16 satellites that located at the Earth-Moon liberation point, the circumlunar orbit, and in the large elliptical frozen orbit. And the lunar field network will composed of multiple nodes on the lunar surface. The lander and the lunar research station could be used as the base station to provide UHF or Wi-Fi links to other nodes on the lunar surface, and use other ways to communicate with the satellite on the orbit and the stations on Earth. And the Queqiao version 3 considers the needs for interplanetary communication and navigation. It will develop and launch a series of relay satellites and interplanetary staging stations of Mars and Venus. The system and serve will be updated to establish the basic completion of deep space communication and navigation system, and to achieve the communication and navigation coverage of the Mars and Venus. Step out of the Earth cradle, explore and discover the unknown universe. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Xi Xiangyu. And after hearing so many interesting introduction and also exploration of China's proposed International Lunar Research Station, I believe that all global partners are welcome to join this huge project in the next few years. And I think that's pretty much for our today's GM Forum. And I believe that with this long-term base, we will have more interesting exploration and projects on the moon. I think maybe one day our ordinary people may have the chance to go to the moon to study, and even our reporters and journalists may have the chance to go there. And if one day I have the chance, I would like to be the first one. I would like to tell you more about what is happening on the lunar surface, on the far side of the moon. Okay, that's all for our GI Forum. Thank you so much for your attention. And thank you for IAF and also Cosmos, especially China National Space Administration, for giving me this opportunity to host this panel. And see you next time. Thank you.